Everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina and today is a Pan That Eyeshadows update. So today we're doing an update on my Pan That Eyeshadows series and I have some news. So before we jump into today's update, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button because I do upload on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard, and I don't want you guys to miss out on any of my videos if these are interesting to you. I do a lot of project panning, I do shop my stash, and I do miscellaneous Harry Potter videos. Occasionally, maybe Kappa might be a thing that might take that away from me, but we will see. So anyways, let's get into today's update. So for my Pan Those Eyeshadows, we have 5 eyeshadow palettes, or 5 shadows that we're working on, hitting pan on. Some of these have been in since the very beginning. If you guys are interested in seeing where we started out, I will link all of the videos in a card for you. Also, if you hear noise in the background, I do apologize. They're doing yard work outside, and I mean, I can't control what happens outside of my videos, so hopefully it's not too noisy or annoying, but in case you hear weird noises in the background, there's some leaf blowers. So let's get started. So the first palette that we picked was this guy. This is the Carity Picante palette, and the shade that we picked is the shade Dune, which Dune is right here at the top. It's this like mustard yellow shade. I've been trying to use it a lot in like transitions, but it does create a more grungy look, so sometimes I don't want a grungy look. I didn't use it today, like for example, because I didn't want to use a mustard yellow with pink eyeshadow, which I feel like my eyeshadow is kind of hard to see, but I have a pink look on today, so didn't really want to use it today, but I do try to use it a lot. So in the last, that can't be right. Okay, I only marked that I used this 3 times. I know that's not right. So apparently the tallies are not working for me right now. But I mean, you can't even see, there's a slight dip kind of starting in it, like right here. I try to concentrate my brush right here, and there's a slight dip starting, but not much. It looks like the shade next to it has a bigger dip in it, and it might just be because it's a shimmer. I feel like these mattes are gonna move a lot slower because a lot of the shimmers look like they have more progress in them, and I know I've used Dune more. Like this purple down here has a lot of progress, but I've used Dune way more than this guy. Like I can count probably how many times I've used that guy. So I guess the mattes are just more densely packed than the shimmers in this palette, because the shimmers definitely have a lot more movement, but this guy unfortunately doesn't seem to have moved that much. Since I've put this in, I have tallied that I've used it about 50, almost 60 times, so that's about how much use. I don't think I tallied correctly for this past month, so that's unfortunate. I'll have to start a new tally and hopefully be a little bit better in the next month, but no pan in this guy yet, so he will continue to stay in this project. This next guy though is where we have progress. So this is my e.l.f. Mad for Matte palette, and I had the dark brown pulled for this one, and we hit pan. So I told you guys in the last update I started using it in my brows. I think y'all can see it. There's a little glint of pan for you. It is definitely still pretty small. These pans are surprisingly deep is what I've noticed. There's a lot of product in these pans for what this is, like for an e.l.f. palette. I hit baby pan on this at the beginning of November, so on the 1st of November I hit, like, it was literally so tiny, and I was like, oh, I would get reamed if I stopped. So I kept going, and I used it some more. It's still really tiny because I used just a small detailer brush to put it in my brows. I put it mainly in like the tail end of my brows, and that's where all of the uses come from. That's also why it's probably a small pan, because of the shape of the brush. So I have marked here in the last month I've used it 10 times. So again, I don't think I tallied correctly at all, but it gives an okay estimate. I think the progress speaks for itself. There is pan. So that means we get to roll this guy out, and we get to roll a new shadow in, which we'll do at the very end of the video. And we will also be swatching all these shades all over again so you can see them. So this guy's getting rolled out, so yay! So that's the 3rd shade that we've hit pan on since starting this. And I didn't really have a goal of like how many shades I wanted to hit pan on before like this is officially over. I was just gonna kind of keep going until I got tired of it. I don't know. Would it be ridiculous to try to want to hit pan in every single one of my eyeshadows? Probably, but who knows what I'm gonna do. So the next palette is one that had 2 shades in it originally. We panned one, and then we still have another one that we're working on, and that's my Persona Identity palette. So the shade that we're still working on in this guy is the color Chic, which is the purpley shade. I know I definitely didn't tally correctly for this because it said I used it 6 times. Actually, that might be correct, but I used this a good bit. This was a color I used during the military ball, which that vlog finally went up. I was having a ton of issues with YouTube not wanting to upload it, so I used this for that look. I used used this a lot to like smoke out my winged liner a lot this past month. There's a slight dip in it again, but again, not making as much progress as Seductive did. I feel like we hit Seductive really fast, which Seductive wasn't another project pan, so that might be why. But I just feel like as far as all the other shades, Chic does have the biggest dip in comparison, except for with Humble, but Humble I use to set my lid all the time, so that doesn't surprise me. But otherwise, it has the biggest dip in the palette. Comparative, even more than Charming, which Charming is almost always my transition shade when I'm using this palette, so that's surprising. These pans aren't too deep. Like looking at Seductive, it shouldn't be too long, but it's probably going to be at least 3 more months of me using this before we hit pan. I need to be a lot more diligent with using these shades. That's what I'm going to keep saying, but I am using them. So I mean, any progress is good progress. At least I know I'm using them. There hasn't been any shades that I've just not used at all. Next palette is one that we added in a couple updates ago, and this is my Urban Decay Born to Run, which is one of my newer palettes. The shade that we picked was, of course, a bronze shade, which is Ignite, which as you can see, it still has pretty much the same dip it had in it the last update. I ended up using it 4 times in the last month, and the reason I didn't use this more though is because I got tired of bronze. I'm tired of bronze. So I have kind of gone a little bit more in the silvery gold route, but these deep bronzes, oh man, I got really sick of it. But I am thinking that I am pretty close to hitting pan. Urban Decay usually isn't too deep in their pans, and there's a nice dip, so I feel like hopefully I can get into wearing bronzes again in December, which means this guy will make a comeback and we will have pan, is what I'm hoping. I'd be really happy to have pan in this palette already because it is newer, so I think that would be, or newer to me, so I think that would be really nice, but I just need to warm back up to using bronzes. Oh, I got tired of those bronzes though. And then last palette to review is from Alomar. So this is the Alomar Cosmetics Volume 1. The shade we picked is this beautiful blue one, which is right here. It has a lot of remnants on it because I used it to mix with other shades, which was really nice. I marked that I only ended up using this once, but I think I used it a couple more times. Again, my tallies are really off for this update, so I do apologize. But I did use it a couple times. There's a slight dip starting in it, but not anything too impressive. And like I said, it's a little dirty looking right now because I did use it to mix with other shades. I've mixed it with La Costa. I've mixed this with another silvery shade. I've mixed this with a lighter blue to create a different sort of blue. I kind of want to mix it with like a purple and see if it makes a more periwinkle shade, because that's something I'm desperately missing in my collection, is a periwinkle eyeshadow. I need periwinkle, so maybe I'll do that. I like to mix this. I am not a huge fan of just straight blue on my lids all the time, just because it's a bit much for me. I just feel like it's a little bit too much for my everyday life. So I like the blue occasionally, but it is a little harder for me to use just because I don't like it in my everyday life. It just doesn't fit my vibe, my aesthetic. Like, I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl, and I'm not like rocking a wild look for my everyday life. So it's a little slower moving, but I feel like we can still do it, and I'm glad I got a colorful shade and not another bronze. Alright, so with that said, we need to pull up my Google Sheets document. So here's my Google Sheet document. I apparently don't know how to scroll correctly. Let me pull up a random number generator, and we will pick another shade, and hopefully it is not a bronze. Alright, so I do need to take out the e.l.f. Matte for Matte one, so hang on, let me find that in my list of palettes. e.l.f., e.l.f., e.l.f. There we go. So that guy is deleted, so now between 1 and 277. So let's go, let's generate. What did it pick? 223. I really went down there, didn't it? So it's 223. Boom, 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 boom. So, oh, it's from the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. So 223 is the color Riff. Where's Riff? Oh. Okay. So Riff is a transitional brown right here. So feasibly, I should be able to use all of these shades together for an eye look. Maybe that will be a video next time. Maybe we'll include that. I don't have any eye looks to include in this video for you guys, unfortunately, because I forgot to take pictures of any looks that I did. Again, like I said, my tallies are off. I don't have any pictures. This month's not that great. I can already picture all the thumbs down on this video because I always get them anyways. Tea. So let me go ahead and swatch all of these guys for you, and then we will wrap up this video. So this first shade is Dune from the Carity palette. The second shade is Chic from the Persona palette. Third shade is from the Born to Run, which is Ignite. Fourth shade is from the Alomar palette, and then that last shade right here is the newest shade.
So feasibly, we could probably create a look with most of these together. Maybe not the purple shade, it kind of doesn't work with all of them, but the other 4 could probably make a pretty cool look. So that is all the shades that we are currently working with.
Alright guys, so thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up down below. Again, I apologize, my tallies weren't correct and my pictures were non-existent. I will do better next time. It's just been, you know, kind of stressful this month with my dog getting sick and Mercury being in retrograde and everything went wrong for me. So it's been a little bit of a hectic month. Hopefully next month will be a lot better. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely make sure to hit that like button before you leave. Also make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more from me. And hopefully that means I see you all in my next video. Bye!